Hello and welcome to episode 13. We're here today with added special effects from absolutely everyone in the audience. Today you're noticing that this may be out of sync with the video on the basis that I managed to record the video and not my own voice. Instead, we just happen to have Old Boy here today. We have got a new member of the crew with us. We've got TennesseeBrit, and TennesseeBrit likes to say this.
Bonjour.
Because the only thing we managed to record is him saying
Bonjour.
and we can have as much fun to where we want him to say that we can just make him go
Bonjour.
like that, and that's not going to be at all difficult to edit in. I think I've just given myself 2 hours of pain and misery there. We were discussing a few moments ago. I mean, I'm just going to go on with building here. We were discussing a few moments ago that we went to a very special seminar together for surviving the zombie holocaust. You've gone quiet. You've gone quiet, old boy.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I was mostly letting you ramble and then planning on chipping in like I usually do. Yes, a seminar on surviving the zombie apocalypse.
I've just realised I haven't got my headphones on, so that might it'll be alright. It'll be alright. Surviving the zombie apocalypse, and I seem to remember quite distinctly waiting for TennesseeBrit to go out. So we were in a group. I didn't really know you guys then. To be honest with you, I don't remember you there. I was drinking the Arts Centre. They serve San Miguel by the pint. Now, I drink San Miguel by the bottle, which is like a quarter of a pint almost. So that was interesting for me. And I seem to remember waiting for him. There were like 5 of us or 6 of us, and we needed a group of 5 people for the seminar, your survival group. I seem to remember waiting for him to leave the room and then suggesting we ditch him.
Yep, I remember that.
Even though he was the one who invited us to stay in the first place. Yeah, I think zombie house survival. If I remember rightly, Tabitha there got very, very angry, and in fact still brings this up to her this day, that she was only told she wouldn't survive on the basis that she's left-handed and can't use a can opener. And I'd just like to say, for everyone who's listening, she can't use a can opener. This is a regular occurrence in this household that I get asked to open the cans, as she makes a right mess of it with our right-handed can opener. Yeah. Was little Luna there?
Yes, yeah, we were all there, but I do think, quite aside from online, that was the first time we'd met you. Because we all just kind of crashed together. And I think TennesseeBrit was the point around which we all sort of knew one another.
And we decided to ditch him.
Yeah. Not at all cruel.
Brought nothing to the group.
I'm reasonably confident that it was a decision that we would only ditch him if we needed to sacrifice somebody.
I remember the other problem, though, is that I remember the theory. I remember the theory quite clearly. I also remember the theory asking the question: you had to have a scientist in your crew.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to be very careful how I word this. Tabitha is a scientist, and I am always suspicious that she might cause the zombie holocaust. And does that change whether you want her in the crew or not?
I'm not entirely sure that I should answer that question.
It would be a point of expertise. Come on.
Luckily, she is so far off camera at this point that anything she has to say is lost upon us. Luckily, I think. So, the Octopus. This is going, I believe, rather well. Although I've just got a bit stuck. We have...
Go on.
No, go for it.
I was going to say I have noticed that you do tend to get a bit stuck in one or two places when trying to maneuver around it. So it looks really awesome. It still only has 6 legs, and therefore it is not an octopus. It is a squid. But
it does only have 6 eggs, but we haven't taken the output from any of these other farms yet, which would give it a lot more legs.
okay.
I'm not quite sure animal has more than, well, I suppose millipede. We could call it the giant millipede. But it doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it?
Yeah, the sorting millipede would just give me all kinds of Harry Potter based nightmares about giant insects on people's heads.
That sounds amazing. The sorting millipede. Three. I can't count 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I actually can't count and keep up a dialogue at the same time. I've got a lot of respect for people like Struders who will play this game and do a running commentary for like 20 minutes non-stop. I just cannot do that. I'm an old man. How does that make you feel, old boy?
Like I'm going to live forever. I don't know.
Oh dear. Right. Yeah. So, for those of you who saw the last episode, a couple of things we have changed. I'll just jump down here and around. You can see now. I'm still falling to my death.
It's a skill.
Right. So what we have around here now is I'm going out the back. Is we have the octopus in the middle. We've had to make a couple of changes from the build in the last episode, so I thought I'd show that just now. Previously, I had made it so that over here, yeah, I had made it so that this sorting mechanism sort of came out and came straight down. But I found that these torches were actually activating the hoppers, which would have been level with this glowstone dust right here, this glowstone block right here, because the torches obviously would be right in the cell right next to it. It was a mistake I made on the test, and I actually didn't note on the test. So we brought it out along, and this hopper array basically feeds into the various dispensers, droppers. The droppers are all activated by a very simple mechanism. It's actually one tiny dropper circuit there, but we're just using the same block. So if one of these activates, it actually activates the next one as well. Although that one's getting blocked up for some reason. So if it does get one item at a time like this, you'll find it fires. No, because I actually gave it a stack of items. One at a time, it fires like that. It fires out the dropper. I am wondering slightly if they're getting fed too fast, but would work that problem out if it comes to it. There might be some weird server glitch where I go out the zone and back in the zone. We were also using red glass. In the time lapse that you'll see, there is a whole bunch of red glass going down. And when we went down below, we found it really didn't quite look right. There was I was having all kinds of problems with clouds as well. I don't know, Sam, do you play with clouds turned on?
I do, yeah. It's not causing me any problems at the moment. But
When I had clouds turned on with the glass, it was giving me a lot of rendering things. When you sort of looked at the cloud from above through the glass, it looked very, very bizarre. I think actually and it also was merging into the building a bit. Now with this granite, it doesn't merge in at all. You can very clearly see that the arms come sweeping around the outside to where the storage area will be. I must admit, I'm really loving the look and style of this. I don't like the iron farm. The iron farm is going to go. We're going to completely redesign that and make it a lot slimmer. But yeah, I think that's looking rather well at the moment.
Forgive the question, going back to the iron farm, given that the best and most successful thing we've built to date has been a Titan, I appreciate it doesn't run as well on this server type, but why don't we just build a Titan?
We're not in the spawn chunk.
Ah, yeah, that'd do it. Okay.
So when you unload the chunks, the villages get destroyed, which is what broke our Titan previously. That is the only reason. So what this design is supposed to do is it destroys the villages by hiding them. The blocks cover up the village, therefore destroying the village. And the reason why it doesn't work on this server very well is two reasons. The first reason is the entity activation range is lower than what it is on a proper vanilla, and the time it takes for Spigot to recognise that a village is created and to recognise that a village has been destroyed is longer. I don't quite think we've got those timings right in the settings. So when you slow it down, it just works so slowly that it's not worth doing. So what we'll probably do is destroy the entire thing, build a much smaller pad closer to the tower, probably a bit higher as well, and then just put a whole bunch of villagers. And I think what we might also do is put the villagers into individual rooms, like in Rapture, so we can go up and talk to them and interact with them. And that will produce less iron, but it will produce a consistent amount of iron, whereas at what the moment happens at the moment, this produces no iron, and you have to go and stand all the way out here, which means that the other farms aren't working. So if we build the entire thing basically above, possibly above the cow farm, almost like level with the gold farms, so we can basically run around the Midland, and all the farms will be active at the same time. I haven't decided, and the other problem is I think we're probably going to want to take the iron farm out before we do the build. And this is my logic. The redstone circuitry for the iron farm is kind of where we want to build.
Right. So do we start with the towers and work back from there, or?
Maybe. I kind of like the idea of having a massive game of Squeef on the server. So what I was actually thinking about was taking out the redstone, the big redstone box first, and leaving the villagers in, because I need to look up the circuit. So the villagers have to be moved, because I don't want to lose all the villagers. So coming up with a way of transporting the villagers without them all dying to their new location. So we could probably have to do everything at once. Not exactly sure how that's going to work, so we need to work out like where the new village is going to be, which I think is going to be up there, put the mine tracks in, and then put like 20 mine carts through, because they're in glass. I think I can move them without them escaping, because you know what's going to happen is they're all going to escape, and it's going to be hilarious.
I was going to say, but we're going to end up with another Benny Hill chase, aren't we?
So, to be honest, I think that's probably about it for today's episode. Do anyone want to add anything? We haven't said like and subscribe yet, so like and subscribe.
And follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter. Twitter is Wootaboots. Facebook's also Wootaboots. Twitter is probably where it's at, to be honest with you. We'll see you next week, and goodbye for now. Where's our